Hey everybody, hope you're having a great day. I'm having a fabulous one. Today I thought I'd do a tutorial get ready with me with the Anastasia Subculture palette. I had commented that I was going to do one of these, and I'm hoping to do a couple of these. We'll see what happens, right? I will be showing which brushes I'm using. Right now I'm using the Juvia's Place, the red set. They don't have names on the brushes, so I will tell you which one it is. Some of them are pretty self-explanatory, some aren't, I'll be honest. And I don't always use brushes for what you think the brush are for. I'll be honest, I'm a little unconventional like that. I just threw my brush. Give me 1 minute, I'll be right back. And we're back. I'm like, why am I throwing things? I'm excited, I guess, to do makeup, and I decided to throw a few things, right? It is what it is. Everybody's probably seen this, the Subculture palette. It's just a real pretty palette. Very different from anything else that's out. That's why I really like it. I do admit, as an artist, I can kind of see some color choices and play with them. It makes it a little easier. The everyday person who doesn't understand how colors play with each other may struggle to use this palette, because it's not like 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3. You end up jumping around quite a bit to figure out different looks. I've had a lot of fun. I've been playing with it, and I'm enjoying using it. The only one I'm really struggling with is this one here in the top corner cube. I have to foil it to get it on. Otherwise it doesn't show up on my skin. I've actually dug into it a couple times trying to really get to use it. I found electric I like as an eye topper. I really like it as topping it. Gen Review actually took it over other shadows. I had used it as just a spot highlight in the middle. I hadn't taken it across the whole thing. But, you know, there's a couple different looks out there and a couple different reviews. The only other person I've watched put this on is Jen Loves at this point, so I haven't seen anybody else's. So, let's get into this. I am a little unconventional how I apply my makeup. I usually start sometimes with the darkest. Depends on how I'm using the palette. Some I start with the darkest and blend out to the lighter shades. Some I start lighter and go darker. Depends on the palette and the formula. But this one I like starting with the darker one. So I'm going to go into this Rowdy, which is a deep purple. I'm barely touching it twice. Look at that. That's a lot of color. I've already primed my eyes. I have Eden's Ulta's version of the Eden Potion. It's from Urban Decay, but I'm using the Ulta version. It's called Eden too, so really easy, and it's really cheap, and it works almost as good. Almost, not quite. It's like a hair behind. So if you have a really one that doesn't want to stay, try the Eden formula from the Urban Decay Potion primer. It's pretty awesome. I already spent enough money on other makeup. I don't want to have to spend it on primers. Right now I have a ton of primers because of this haul, so. Alrighty, so we're going to start here in the outside corner, and I'm just dabbing it in. And bring it across the eye. That's all I was wanting to do with it. I'm actually going to take it over the other eye and try to see what I can blend off with what I already have on here. I'm going to have to do another tap. Gentle tap. Nothing heavy. Gentle tap. Oh, and I'm using the fluffy crease brush from the Urban Decay. I want to call this an Urban Decay, and I know it's not. The Juvia's Place red set. I'm wanting to get more of their sets. I'm liking the brushes, so I might be placing another order, but I'm gonna wait to get more brushes until after they have a Blush 3 palette coming out. I want to get, because I have the first two now, and I've been enjoying those too a little bit. So until that comes out, I think I'll wait and then just order a brush set in that, so I get it high enough to get free shipping. We all know how that is. I paid for some things for shipping, and other things I'm like, I can wait. Not a big deal. Alright, the next one I'm touching into is All Star. I should know better. I keep dabbing it twice, and I only really need to dab it once. I mean, look at all that color. Okay, now I'm actually taking this right above and just tapping it in. And I'm just tapping it in ever so lightly. I'm taking a little higher up on my brow, and I'm going to bring it in right here. Wow, look at that color. And by tapping it, I don't tend to have that problem where a lot of people said they were having problems with the colors blending to gray. I've not had that happen at all. But I've seen where other people have had it. So, again, I'm tapping it. It's a very pigmented formula. A couple people I know who are of darker color, I've talked to them. And my friend Jasmine, I've mentioned her on this channel before, from up north. I still talk to her. She's got this. And she is a blue-black Afro-American, really deep color. And she says every one of these, even this one when she foils it, shows up on her dark skin, which I think is phenomenal for that aspect. Because that is a problem a lot of Afro-Americans who are the darker complexion have issues with makeup showing up on their skin. Just bringing it in like an arch on the... After dabbing it in, then I'm going to take my brush with what's left, kind of dragging it over, creating a arch look. I am blowing off what little extra fluffies are coming off, because you do get a little crumbly, but nothing horrible as long as you are gentle with your touching. That's going to be so clue. Alright, the next one I'm going to go in with is Roxy. I'm only touching it once. Look at that color. And I'm going to come in on the inside corner. And I'm actually blending this time and not just tapping. I'm blending into that All-Star and a little bit into Rowdy. Just to lighten that inner corner. This is going to... I keep tapping twice. I was using Color Rain, the Queen of Hearts, which will be in my haul. I picked it up. I've used it the last 3 days, and that one I have to tap twice. This one I barely have to tap. I keep forgetting because I haven't used it for 3 days because I've been trying out my Color Rain. So I'm getting too much color. Here we go. Yeah, way too much. See how that double tap to single tap makes a huge difference on how much color you get. But it's okay. I can deepen the other side up to blend it in. Just taking it in there and just blending it over. We're going to tap back into Roxy and match the other side. Look how pigmented that color is. Okay. And it does lighten it up, so it's not such a deep, dark look. Okay, I'm going to take Roxy again, one tap. Gotta remember, one tap and go over the top of that arch I put in earlier. Now this time I am blending back and forth. Now you don't have to go as high as I do. You can take it lower. If you have a really high eyebrow and a lot of landscape here to play with, you can really do a lot of colors. So I keep looking at the screen to see, make sure I'm not screwing up my eye look. But here we go. Yeah, and I will come back with a lighter color to hit the eyebrow. One tap again. And blend in the color. This is definitely more bold, but if you know anything about me, I like color. I'm a color girl. Now this is when you can decide what you want to add and what you don't want to add. Right now I'm wanting to put a lighter color right here to kind of drag that down, and I think I'm going to touch All-Star up and come back and tap in some more color for that All-Star, because I lost some of it with the blending. And that with pure pigment, and this is a pretty much a pressed pigment palette, this is how I'm treating it, you're gonna have this, so you're gonna have to be careful when you're working with it just because of that issue. Now I'm gonna come back with, mind you, I've used the same brush the whole time. I'm just knocking it off. Sorry you guys, just hit the camera. And my color switch in between to help keep my brush from getting in there. I'm gonna blend that edge a little bit more. Same thing with this side. Just blending that edge a little bit. Don't want to overblend. That's one thing I have found with pure pigments, or even this. Overblending, it just kills the look. Touching back in Roxy and coming back on that inner corner again. Now this is when you can decide if you really want to be bold and bring it down into that inner corner. I'm not with the Roxy. I will be using one of my Stila glitters If you know me, I love those things to really bring out a look. Alrighty, I am changing brushes. I am going for this brush, which is a pointer brush. It's quite a bit smaller than the fluffy brush from the Juvia's. Like I said, this is a crease fluffy brush. This I would think is like a detailer or like an inner corner highlight. I've been using this quite a bit. I'm actually going to wet it gently. I'm just using water. I'm not using anything fancy to wet it. And I'm going in with Cube. Just gently touching Cube. Just to get some on the tip. And then I'm going to go in and get underneath that brow bone. See how that just immediately, but I find, like I said, you gotta foil it, you gotta wet it to really get a good color. And then I'm gonna drag it down just slightly to lighten this whole look up a little bit. Bingo, right there. That's what I was wanting. Like I said, just foiling it just gently is all it takes for me to get it. And I don't try to have my brush too wet, just lightly damp. So I get too much water on it, I brush it against my hand to dry it out a little. And then I just pick up enough to get a white tip. And then I'm doing the other eye. I've tried using this dry a couple times, and like I said, this is the only one that I've really struggled with as much as the other ones. Oh, I went too far on the inside on that one. I should have just kept it on the outside edge. Oh well, I can touch that up. No, actually I like that. We're going to come back and do that on this side. Sometimes a mistake can work in your favor. So it does blend. Just got to work with it a little bit more than some of the other ones. Alright, I'm going to grab my fluffy brush again. I'll touch Roxy ever so gently. I'm going to try to... If you touch it gently, you don't knock hardly anything off. And just gently brushing it along that edge that I created between the colors. See how that kind of blends it back in without darkening it? Now I'm going to take that pointer one again. I'm going to grab some. I'm going to go the inner corner of the eye. And I'm going to fan it in. Yeah, like that. If I paired any glitter with this, it's going to be Kitten Karma. Just because it's in that pink range. Because it's got really purpley pink on me, which I actually really like. No, I might not need it. This flows out pretty nicely. I think I'll still touch Kitten Karma up in the corner just to add a bit of extra oomph on it. If you have a lot of real estate width-wise, you could really drag this out to give yourself more of a cat look. But I kind of find this works great. Would I wear this to work? Yes, I do. I wear looks like this to work. My work allows this kind of looks. I can pretty much wear whatever makeup I want at my work. Heck, I can put my hair in any color I want at my work, which is kind of nice. I kind of like that more modern idea to the atmosphere. I mean, oh, y'all have to wear the same colors. Well, actually, we do a little bit in clothing, but our makeup and hair can be whatever we want it to be. So that's kind of nice. A lot of our people at my work have pink and blue hair and green hair and red hair. I'm probably one of the few with the more normal color hair. I'm just dipping back in Cube with that same brush. I haven't re-wetted it since earlier, so it's just continuing to pick up from the moisture in there. And you really do have to layer this on to get a more opaque color with this thing. But the final look, I think, is worth it, but that's gonna be your own opinion on that. Oh yeah, I like that. Now I'm gonna take, there's a flat brush in that setup, and here's the fluffy, so you have an idea of the size compared to the fluffy. It's just a real flat one. I like it for smudging underneath my eyes. It's been a really good replacement for my my Makeup Academy 311 smudge detailer. I've been using this one and not that one. I'm just tapping it in. I already tapped it a couple times. I've got that. I'm going to use it to get underneath my eyes. And I'm tapping into All Star. Tap it back in again. Again, don't tap more than once. I keep forgetting and tapping it twice. That's part of the reason why this is a little darker than I thought it was going to be. But you know what? It actually turned out really good. It's a darker version of what I've been playing with. Okay. Now I'm going to knock off the brush. And I'm going to tap into Roxy. Sorry, you guys. I think it's funny, my southern accent and how I talk sometimes creates problems when I talk. I'm actually going to go right over the middle section of that with Roxy and kind of use it to blend this whole look. Oh, that's such a pretty ombre effect. Okay, do that again. One tap, Sky. Keep tapping twice. With the palette, your fingers actually end up being really good blending tools, just so you know. Just because of how the pigments in your skin warms them up. Because you get a little bit on your finger, but I find it helps warm it up. Alrighty. I am gonna do one last thing. This is a big fluffy brush. I believe they meant this to be a highlighting brush. I do use it for highlighting. This is that shader brush. This is how big it is in comparison. I like using it as a final blending brush a lot of times. I'll do that to blend right here, because sometimes I get too harsh of a line there. I don't like a harsh line there. That needs to be blended. There we go. Oh, gotta be careful. I did that the other day, and I brushed pigment because I had some on my finger. I brushed it all across my cheek, so I had to redo my makeup. I was very not happy. Alright, I'm going to do my mascara and lips, and I'll be right back. Hi y'all, I'm back with pretty much the final look. I've got my mascara on. I didn't do eyeliner because I have such a dark color around the edge. I didn't think I really needed it. Lip colors from Grwm. I did make one last choice. I'm going to take Cube with that big, thicker blushy brush I was using for blending. And I thought I'd hit the top of the cheekbones. See if that could give me... Yeah, that works. Like a pinker highlight that kind of blends in with my... Yeah, that looks great. Pretty good highlighter. Very... Not... You can really foil it and bring it out, but I kind of like it because it helps tie in that inner corner. I might go still get my sea light glitter and put it in the inner corner, but that'll be for me and not for the video, right? Alright, y'all. I hope you like this video. I hope you find this useful for you. And until next time, remember, you do you. Bye!